We've gone from addiction, poverty, homelessness, criminality. All right, Larry, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you today?
Good. You feel like you're on the hot seat?
Yes, I do.
Ready for a little Q&A?
Absolutely.
You've had a pretty wild ride in your life. You've gone from addiction, poverty, homelessness, criminality, and you have found your way to some serenity and the Dream Center here, and you're doing a lot better. So we want to definitely dive into that transformation and start with a pretty powerful question. If you could go back and speak to the version of yourself that was at your absolute lowest point, what would you say, and what do you think he'd say back to you?
I would look at myself and I would probably say that it's okay to drop blame, shame, and guilt and not go by the things you've been told or how unsuccessful my mom would say I was or a mistake, and I would just tell myself to look forward, to just continue on God in my life. Lose the circle of friends that are not good for my change in life.
What was the moment, if there was one, when you realized you couldn't keep living the way you were?
This last time that I ended up in jail, I had lost everything and my life was so unmanageable. I was on drugs, I was on alcohol. I just had no hope. I literally was lost. So when I went to jail this last time, I literally prayed to God, asked God if he's real, show me an angel, show me some sure sign that there's something different in life. Pretty soon, like an hour later, a big muscular guy that was just really violent and abusive when he was just angry at life. And I felt like that was God's answer to me, because as he went around threatening people in the cell, he got to me and I literally jumped up and gave him a hug. And I told him that I felt like God sent him because I could see me in that guy, because I had become abusive too and stuff, and a sure sign that I needed change, that I definitely needed to go a different direction. So I decided at that point to talk to one of the guards and get a job in the kitchen and slowly start to change while I was in there waiting for my sentencing and all that.
When you saw this guy come into the cell, how quickly did it hit you that there was a message being sent to you in that moment? Was it like instant?
Yeah, it was instantaneously before he even got to me. The reason for that is because first time in my life that it was like looking in a mirror at the anger, and I just seen a lot of similarities. I'm a bigger guy and people were scared of me. I hated that part of my life. Seeing him like that, it was a sure wake-up call. It was 100% a sign.
So the stuff that you've been through, drug addiction, alcohol abuse, poverty, homelessness, criminality, it's a pretty toxic combination. What kept you going when the world had every reason to kind of count you out? How did you keep going?
What my big major change was, so I came from a gang background in Modesto, California. I had slowly got to know the Grammons that run the Dream Center before they ran the Dream Center. I started to go to their church, just hit and miss. I was actually on drugs the first time that I went, and I just remember thinking, like, these guys are crazy at first just because all the love I seen. I just assumed that it was fake, that it was like Christians go to church and then after church they just put on their worldly suits again. And I got to know them little by little, and then so I went up to them. I was open with being scared to just be back out there because I didn't have a house. I lost my place when I got released. I just knew that I would be sucked back into that life. Truly, especially after the encounter with the guy in jail, I truly didn't want to be that person anymore. I asked if I could work for the Dream Center. I didn't know what else to do, and I still didn't have a whole lot of hope. But I knew that they were real. I knew that it was changing lives, so I heard. I knew nowhere else to go. I knew that they wouldn't. So I came forward, and because I had been locked up, I had some clean time, and they allowed me to start off with them. That way of life changed and rearranged everything about me, and it just changed my life.
So it's pretty safe to say that Holly and Jeremy clearly saw something in you that you didn't yet see in yourself.
Absolutely.
And you were just putting trust in them, and they helped you connect to who you are right now. Is that right?
Yes, that in a combination of, I had bailed out of jail. I didn't get released. I was supposed to go to prison because of my past violence. I have things on my record like strong arm robbery, manufacture of firearms, grand theft auto, some assaults and batteries. So I knew that if I didn't change something, I didn't put my trust somewhere, but I was just going to end up back in jail and, prison. And I didn't want to do that. And so I had no choice really in the beginning. And then after seeing the realness in them more and more every day, and just how they're forgiving if you make a mistake, and how they'll show you politely the way to do things, and then the connection within the community that you make with people coming in and out of the doors is life-changing. Plus you get to be reminded of where you came from. It became contagious in my life. It's made my past transitions and stuff, my transgressions, go away, and I just literally have been changed. I surrendered.
Recently, you went off paper for the first time in a while.
Yes.
What does that actually mean to you, not just legally, but emotionally, spiritually, and in your identity as a man? Like, if you could describe that feeling overall of being off paper, what does that feel like?
Well, in the very beginning, it felt scary. It felt scary because I no longer had a thumb pushing down on me, because I was in the mental health court system and ADAPT here in Roseburg, and just all these different things that I had to do, that I volunteered to do, but I had to. There wasn't a personal choice at that time, even though I did make a choice to go forward on my own. If I messed up once, I would have been in prison. I took the sense of purpose with helping others to another level, and it just feels really good to see that people know where you came from. People see a genuine change after working at the Dream Center, getting to know the Grammans in general. It draws a lot of people in the community into the Dream Center that want to know why things are different. And that feeling is sort of almost like life-changing. It's just, I don't know how to put it into words, but it just is a change that I never want to lose, that I know now that I don't need to go back, and it's now not as scary because I stay within the circle of this family here, because it is a family. Each one of us that comes and works behind closed doors, we create a bond with each other. We rely on each other and we love each other. It's a real genuine thing.
When did you begin to believe that you were worthy of something more, and what did it take to finally believe that? So you decided to connect with the Dream Center, but you still weren't a total believer. You were inching your way towards it, but when did you actually feel that you could transition out of that old version of you and that old way of living and to where you are now? Why don't we just talk about where you are now first? You're off paper, you're free of drugs and alcohol, you've got an apartment, no more homelessness. You're here at the Dream Center volunteering every day. Every day I come in, you're in here.
Yeah, I love this place.
Yeah. You have fully transitioned in almost every single area of your life. So, at what point did you believe that was possible for you? Or was it, gradual? Or did it kind of hit you all at once that you could see this version of yourself in this new life waiting for you?
It was when I, first of all, continuously came. They put a lot of trust in you, and pretty soon you start trusting in yourself. When I seen the way others that came in here literally responded to my change and wanted a piece of it, for their own lives, it just gradually snuck up on me, and I started waking up one day and I just was a different person. I just slowly each day changed. So when you get patted on the back and instead of all your wrongs pointed out, the Grammans will literally take you aside and put an arm around you, give you a bear hug and tell you they love you, and they just remind you of how well you're doing. Pretty soon it just becomes a cycle that is just like that bad cycle that you were stuck in. It becomes a cycle of just goodness, a cycle of change, a cycle of doing the right things every day, and just becomes natural.
Now that you're thriving, What's something small that you never would have noticed or appreciated before, but today that small thing brings you like immense joy?
Well, it really, a lot of it started when I went to school for mental health peer support specialist, and I thought I was doing it to help others, and I didn't realize how much it changed my life, how much it taught me about myself, and everything that I learned in that school went right along with the way the Grammans treat you when you work for the Dream Center. It was just a devastating change for the better.
We're hoping that your message reaches the broader Roseburg community and beyond that, because a lot of people are really, really struggling right now, both with drugs and alcohol, financial issues, domestic issues. I mean, it seems as though this is a very challenging time for a lot of people on planet Earth. So if someone out there is watching this and they're in a super dark place, don't really have the will to get up and do something positive for themselves or their community, toxic relationships, in and out of jail, what do you want them to hear from you right now? Like, what is your message?
Like I said before, I would start with this. As soon as a person can drop blame, shame, and guilt, not point the finger at everybody else for what's going on in their life that's not good, that they can literally start to believe that they might need to seek somewhere else to start finding trust in themselves. And I would say that it's a really good thing to show up at the Grammans Church and maybe just come drop in and see what the love's like and get a few days clean and sober. Come and join our family. Just come to the Dream Center and fill out an application. Come get loved on. And pretty soon it'll change your life, because it truly is a contagious thing when you can be around people that live just like you and struggle just like you, and then join them in sobriety, different beliefs that thrive and will change Roseburg, Oregon.
For sure. And I mean, here at the Dream Center, what we're doing is we're essentially helping others that were once in our situations. So it's kind of like you move through the various stages of personal evolution, coming to this other side of it where you actually have some emotional and spiritual resources to then help other people, and then we're essentially calling in those other people to join us in helping. I mean, because there's a lot going on here with donations, getting things to people in need. I mean, that's the service that you're performing here, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. People can come and engage in a number of ways.
Yes, and it's a connection thing. So what it is the Grammans build a connection with the volunteers, and then we build a connection with the community. Instead of just coming and throwing some food or clothing in a box or a bag for people, we literally take the time to sit down and show them respect. Listen to what people have to say, and union. That builds trust, and then that changes lives. No matter how low you get, no matter what's been done to you, no matter what you've done, this is a really good place to come and start over, to find yourself, to feel loved, to be able to give love back to the community. And that alone will make you feel like a brand new person. Just don't give up on yourself. It's like a bike. If you fall off, get back on and start riding.
This is really powerful stuff, Larry. Thank you so much for doing this. It's a compelling story. I hope that it reaches somebody out there. You're doing amazing work. Thank you, Larry.
Okay, God bless.
Bye.